Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine a scene. You're in a conversation with a native English speaker. You've been waiting for this opportunity. You have so many ideas, so many things you want to say. You open your mouth to speak, and then it happens. Your heart starts to beat a little faster. Your palms get sweaty. Your mind, which was full of thoughts just a second ago, suddenly goes completely blank. You search for the perfect word, the perfect grammar structure, but you can't find it. The silence stretches on, and you feel a wave of panic and embarrassment. You end up saying something very simple, or maybe nothing at all, feeling defeated.
If this scenario feels even remotely familiar, then this video is one of the most important you will ever watch on your English learning journey. That feeling, that invisible wall that rises up when you try to speak, has a name. It's the fear barrier. And today, we are going to begin the work of tearing it down, brick by brick. The single biggest obstacle standing between you and English fluency is not your vocabulary, it's not your grammar, and it's not your accent. It's the fear of making a mistake. In this video, we will dive deep into why we feel this fear. We will completely reframe what a mistake actually is. And I will give you a powerful toolkit of practical daily exercises you can use to systematically break down this fear and finally unlock the fluent speaker that is already inside you. First, let's play detective. To defeat an enemy, you must first understand it. Why are we so terrified of making a mistake when we speak a foreign language? This fear isn't a personal flaw. It's a deeply ingrained response that most of us learned from a very young age. Think back to your time in school. What happened when you got an answer wrong on a test? You got a red X. You lost points. Your grade went down. From our earliest educational experiences, we are conditioned to believe that mistakes are synonymous with failure. Mistakes are bad. Mistakes are something to be avoided at all costs. Our brains have been trained for years, even decades, to see an error as a negative outcome, a small punishment. So, of course, when we try to speak English, this programming kicks in automatically. Our brain screams, "Warning, you might make a mistake! Abort mission!"
But it goes even deeper than that. Making a mistake in a language feels incredibly personal. It can feel like a threat to our identity. When you make a math error, you made a mistake in calculation. But when you make a grammar mistake, it feels like you, as a person, are incompetent. We worry that the other person will think we are less intelligent, less educated, or less capable. We are not just afraid of getting the grammar wrong. We are afraid of being judged. We are afraid of looking foolish. This ties our linguistic performance directly to our self-worth, which is an incredibly heavy burden to carry into a simple conversation. This leads to the final, most paralyzing element, the perfectionist trap. Because we are afraid of being judged as imperfect, we wait. We wait for the perfect sentence to form in our minds before we dare to say it out loud. We rehearse it, we check the grammar, we search for the most impressive vocabulary. But conversation moves too fast for that. By the time we've constructed our perfect sentence, the moment has passed, the topic has changed, and we are left in silence, frustrated once again.
So let's be clear, this fear is not your fault. It is a natural product of our life experiences, and our basic human desire to be seen as competent. But just because it's natural doesn't mean it's helpful. In language learning, this fear is a cage. Today, we find the key. The key is a powerful mindset shift, a complete reevaluation of what a mistake truly is. I want you to try and burn this sentence into your mind. In language learning, a mistake is not a failure. It is data. Let that sink in. A mistake is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of progress. It is a necessary, unavoidable, and incredibly valuable part of the learning process. You cannot make a speaking mistake if you are not speaking. Therefore, every single mistake you make is concrete proof that you are trying, that you are pushing your boundaries, and that you are in the arena practicing. The person who makes no mistakes is the person who says nothing. Who is learning more?
Think of it like this. Each mistake is a data point that gives you valuable information. If you use the wrong tense, that's data telling you, okay, I need to review the past simple. If you mispronounce a word, that's data telling you, I need to practice the th sound. If you forget a word, that's data telling you, this is a word I should add to my vocabulary list. Without this data, you are flying blind. You have no idea where the weak spots in your English are. Mistakes are your personal, customized guide to fluency. They are signposts pointing you exactly where you need to go next. They are not red marks of failure. They are arrows of direction. This is the core of the growth mindset, a concept from psychologist Carol Dweck. A person with a fixed mindset believes their abilities are static. They avoid challenges to avoid failure. A person with a growth mindset believes their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They see mistakes not as failures, but as learning opportunities. To learn a language, adopting a growth mindset is not just helpful, it is essential.
Now, understanding this intellectually is one thing. Feeling it in your gut when your heart is pounding is another. So, how do we bridge that gap? We do it with action. We need to give our brain new experiences to prove that making mistakes is not dangerous. This is where our fear-breaking toolkit comes in. These are practical drills designed to desensitize you to fear and build the habit of speaking, imperfections and all. Drill number 1. The 1-minute monologue. This is your foundational exercise. Every single day, I want you to take out your phone and open the voice recorder app. You are going to talk non-stop for just 60 seconds. The topic can be anything. The easiest one is simply what I did today or what I will do tomorrow. There is one golden rule for this exercise. You are not allowed to stop. If you forget a word, describe it. Say, the thing you used to cook eggs instead of frying pan. If you don't know how to say something, say it in your native language and keep going in English. If you get completely stuck, just say until a new thought comes. The goal of this drill is not to speak perfectly. The goal is to build the physical and mental habit of speaking continuously, even when it's not perfect. You are teaching your brain that the world does not end when you are not fluent. After the minute is up, you can listen back if you want, but the real victory was in completing the minute without stopping. Doing this daily builds incredible momentum.
Drill number 2. The perfectly imperfect sentence.
This drill is for the perfectionists out there, and it may sound crazy, but it works. The next time you have a conversation with a language partner or a patient friend, I want you to go into it with a secret mission. Your goal is to intentionally make 3 to 5 small mistakes. Maybe you use he instead of she. Maybe you say, I go to the store yesterday instead of I went. Choose mistakes that you know are mistakes. Why on earth would we do this? Because it puts you in control. Fear thrives on the unknown, the accidental slip-up. By making a mistake on purpose, you are taking away its power. You will quickly realize that when you make a small error, the other person still understands you. The conversation doesn't grind to a halt, the world keeps spinning. This exercise is a powerful form of desensitization. It proves to your anxious brain that minor imperfections are not the catastrophe it imagines them to be.
Drill number 3. The low-stakes Launchpad. Confidence is built on a foundation of successful experiences. So, let's create some easy wins. Your mission here is to find and use very low-stakes speaking opportunities. These are interactions that are short, predictable, and have almost no social pressure. Examples include ordering a coffee. Can I have a large latte, please? Buying a ticket. 1 ticket for the 3 p.m. show, please. Asking for the price of something in a shop. Excuse me, how much is this? Or simply saying, hello, thank you, and have a good day to a cashier. These interactions are your training ground. They are predictable scripts that you can practice beforehand. Each time you complete one successfully, you are logging another positive speaking experience in your brain. These small wins accumulate, building a base of confidence that you can then carry into more complex and unpredictable conversations. Let me share a powerful analogy. Think about a toddler learning to walk. A toddler will stand up, take one wobbly step, and fall down. They will do this hundreds, maybe thousands of times. When that toddler falls, do we rush over and say, "You failed! You are a terrible walker! You should just stick to crawling"? Of course not. That would be absurd. We clap, we cheer, we encourage them. We understand instinctively that every fall is a necessary part of the process. Every fall is a data point that their brain and body use to learn about balance, gravity, and muscle control. Language learning is exactly the same. Every grammatical fall, every pronunciation stumble is a necessary part of you learning to balance yourself in a new language. We need to learn to treat ourselves with the same compassion and encouragement we would give to that toddler. We need to celebrate the attempt, not just the perfect execution. I once worked with a student, let's call him John. John was brilliant. He could read complex articles in English and understand movies with ease. But he never spoke. In our classes, he would type his answers because he was too afraid to speak them. He had a classic case of the fear barrier. We started with the 1-minute monologue. The first recording he sent me was only 20 seconds long and filled with long, painful pauses, but he did it. The next day, it was 30 seconds. By the end of the week, he was completing the full minute. He said it was messy and full of errors, but he was doing it. Next, we moved to the low-stakes Launchpad. His homework was to go to a coffee shop and order his coffee in English. He told me he stood outside for 10 minutes, his heart pounding, before he finally went in. He ordered his coffee. The barista understood him. He got his coffee. It was a tiny interaction, but for John, it was a monumental victory. It was the first time he had used his English in the real world and succeeded.
From there, he started having short conversations with language partners, intentionally trying the perfectly imperfect sentence drill. He learned that his partners were kind and that his mistakes didn't stop the flow of communication. Slowly, over months, John transformed. He began to share his opinions in class, to tell jokes, to ask questions. His English wasn't perfect, but he was free. He had broken the cage of fear, not by eliminating mistakes, but by embracing them as part of his story. This journey is available to you too. It begins today. It begins by changing your relationship with error. It begins by understanding that fluency is not the absence of mistakes, but the confidence to communicate despite them. So let's recap. We now understand that our fear of mistakes is a learned response from our past. We have reframed mistakes not as failures, but as essential data points for growth. And you now have a toolkit with practical drills, the 1-minute monologue, the perfectly imperfect sentence, and the low-stakes Launchpad to begin this work.
Now I have a challenge for you, because knowledge without action is useless. Your challenge this week is simple. Try the 1-minute monologue just one time. That's it, 60 seconds. Open your phone, record yourself talking about your day, and just see how it feels. Then come back to this video and leave a comment below. I want you to share how it felt. Was it hard? Was it easier than you thought? What did you notice? There is incredible power in sharing your experience and reading the experiences of others. It reminds us that we are not alone on this journey. Thank you for your time and your courage today. Remember to be kind to yourself. Celebrate the effort, not just the result. Keep practicing, and I will see you in the next video.